Hey you girls, welcome back to my channel. So my daughter and I saw Wicked over the weekend, and I thought I would tell you guys what I thought of the movie or my top takeaways from it. Now I know that this movie has been released in America almost 3 weeks ago, but it's only been released in Germany a week ago, and during the week it's hard to do because of school and stuff like that. So this weekend we finally seen it, and I'm gonna give you my review. Now I love the movie. I found the scenery to be very feeric. I'm sure they spent a lot of money producing that movie because it was really beautiful. And the first thing that I personally got away from it is that be mindful what you tell children. There is this scene where Elphaba is telling Glinda about how she was responsible for her sister's condition, and that is because of the way her fathers treat her. I talk about this all the time on the channel. Please, if you're an auntie or whatever, be mindful of what you speak into little dark-skinned girls or just little kids in general, because kids are like sponges, especially from age 2 to 8. Whatever we tell them is really going to be the foundation for their self-esteem. And you know, offsetting low self-esteem that stem from childhood is a very difficult task to do. So speak life into children. You know, I always make this effort of, you know, telling little dark-skinned girls that I see in the street when they got the two super cute puff how pretty their hair is or how beautiful their complexion is. I always find something that I really like, whether it's their dress, their smile, something to compliment, because it's really important to speak life into children. If you speak death into your kids, this is really going to stick with them. I remember years ago an acquaintance told me that every time that she's trying to do something at work and she's not succeeding, she always remember how her dad used to tell her as a child all the time that she was stupid. So remember, parents, or whether you're auntie, whatever, that you know, your voice becomes your child inner voice. When they grow up, it becomes their inner narrative. So speak life. Tell your children they can be and do anything, that they can achieve any dream, that no dream is out of reach for them. Tell them they're beautiful, tell them they're smart, tell them they're funny, etc. Tell them you're proud of them. You know, even if they bring at home a grade that isn't the best, still tell them you're proud of them, because you know that they tried their best. What this is going to do is encourage them to try even harder next time, instead of, you know, just shitting on them even though they tried their very best and got, you know, the grade that they got. If you do that, then next time they're just going to be like, oh, no matter what I do anyway, no matter how hard I try anyway, I'm still going to get, you know, soaked on or whatever. So please do not do that. Make sure you speak life into kids. Don't tell your kids like you'll never amount to nothing, you look just like your daddy. We know that this is something unfortunately very common in the Black community. Just speak life into them. Remember that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and we see that, you know, Elphaba feels responsible for her sister's condition even though she's not at fault. I mean, at first her mom cheated, so it has nothing to do with her, but because of how her dad treats her and how she was treated in childhood, she has come to the deduction that she's at fault for her sister's condition. Of course, Glinda tells her that that is not the truth, but again, in real life it is very hard to offset low self-esteem stemming from childhood. A second thing that I personally took away from this movie is that nice people are full of age. Okay, and I say this as someone who used to identify as nice. Listen, niceness is not the same as kindness. Okay, strive to be kind, genuinely kind in life. If you're going to do something for somebody, do it out of the kindness of your heart. Do it, this is very important, without expecting anything else in return. Okay, now nice people are, in best case scenario, agreeable. Okay, in best case scenario, nice people are people who just don't like conflict. They're not comfortable around it, probably because when they were children their caretaker didn't allow any form of, you know, disagreement. So they have learned that, you know, they have to be agreeable, they have to go along to get along. That's the way to get through life. This is in best case scenario. In worst case scenario, nice people can actually be quite manipulative. We see this how Glinda wants to help Elphaba, but only in order to help herself. You know, she only wants to be a student of Mrs. Marble. She only wants to join Mrs. Marble's magic class. Also in the popular song that Glinda sings, or Galinda, whichever way you want to call her, she says that, you know, I'm gonna help you be popular, or I want you to be popular, but just not as popular as me, okay, as popular as I am. So we see that this is not genuinely kind. She doesn't genuinely want to help this person that is an outcast. She just wants to be able to feel good about herself, about how she did this good deed or whatever. So yeah, nice people are generally full of ish. My third takeaway from this movie is the power of acceptance and the power of self-love. Now I'm going to talk about two different scenes, and the first one is, you know, of course, the famous dance scene. It's happening in the Oz discotheque, I believe, in the Oz nightclub. Now this scene obviously brought many people to tears. Now I didn't cry because my daughter was crying, so I was trying to soothe her, but as a former outcast, watch my video about how I cope with being rejected, never invited or even thought of. I think that is the title. I will pin it as the first comment in order to know what I'm talking about. This scene really got to me, because as I was in high school, there is nothing, hear me out when I say nothing, I wouldn't have given in order to be part of the popular clique, in order, hell, forget being part of the popular clique. I would have given anything to even be invited just to a birthday party. Okay, just one. But it never happened. And yeah, so that scene really touched me, because I could see myself and identify with Elphaba, with being the outcast, being the person that no one wants nothing to do with, being the person that no one wants to even be seen with or associated with, because, you know, it's bad juju. Because being accepted, being seen is a human need, right? All human beings desire to be seen, okay? This is why I try not to be very judgmental towards people I see on social media. Women sometimes do, you know, what I consider to be dumb or stupid things for a man. I used to be very judgmental towards them, but as I get older, I'm 35 years old, I try very hard not to judge them harshly, because I understand that we all want to be seen. At the end of the day, we all want just somebody who is gonna see that we're not perfect, who is gonna see the darkness in us and still accept us and still love us and still want us and still like us. So of course, as Glinda joined Elphaba in that, you know, awkward dance and did it with her, with everybody, then at first kind of staring and telling Glinda, don't do it, because like I said, no one wants to associate with the outcast, because it's kind of rub off of you. If you've been to high school, you know what I'm talking about. If you associate with somebody whose coat is very low, okay, you are kind of gonna lose some points as well. But you know, Glinda does it anyways, and you know, everybody end up dancing with them, and it was a really beautiful scene. Like I said, very moving, about the importance of feeling seen and being accepted. We can also talk about the power of self-love here, because when Elphaba sings in the beginning about meeting the wizard, she talks about how the wizard is going to change her complexion because she is green. She wishes to be black, I guess, or I can only imagine, since her sister is kind of mixed race, so probably she wishes to be brown. But when she gets there, she actually decides to save the animals instead, right? So she has come to self-acceptance, she has come to loving herself and just accepting that, you know, she's gonna be green and it is what it is, and she decides to use her heart desire, her one wish, in order to do something genuinely kind for other people or animals in this case, instead of herself. And I believe that's how she became so powerful and was able to read the gibberish off of the book, because Elphaba has always had powers, but she was not able to control her powers very well in the beginning of the movies. But as she gets, you know, to Oz and to speak with the wizard, she becomes very powerful. She's able to read the gibberish off of the books and able to fly, etc, etc. And I believe that what the producer of the movie is trying to portray here a bit as well is the power of self-acceptance. We can also see the power of self-acceptance when Elphaba does the hair flip thing, you know, the thing that Ariana Grande is doing in the movie. And baby, it's a lot, okay? I know that it is meant to be that way, but that scene really reinforced to me that Ariana Grande can't act. I don't care, I'm not going back and forth with you guys in this comment about it. It's just a personal opinion. I do think that she's a better singer than dancer, that she needs to work on her acting skill a little bit more. But anyways, there's a point in the movie where Elphaba, if you've seen it, is trying to copy her and do the same like hair flip move, and love interest, which is a prince in the movie, he's Glinda's love interest, but Elphaba is also interested into him, even though she believes that he won't want her because, you know, she has low self-esteem. He told her, "You've been Glindalized," or something along those lines, and I thought that was very funny to, you know, the importance of being yourself. You know, it's one thing to take inspiration from other people. I was inspired to do this hairdo today by a girl I seen on YouTube, but it's also really important to be yourself. You know, even though you take inspiration by other people, it's important to add, you know, your own little thing, your own little sauce. Okay, and I thought that was important when it comes to the power of being yourself. Another takeaway that I have from this movie is that sometimes people who come across as very defensive and a little negative are just trying to protect themselves, because Elphaba has this tendency to always like jump off of people. Like when she first meet them, she's like, "Yes, I was born this way. No, I didn't used to eat leaf as a child," you know, because she's green. And she has a third sentence that she always says, "It's not contagious," or something like that. I don't quite remember, I'm not even gonna lie. And I saw the movie in German, so it's hard to, you know, translate the exact sentences in English. But yeah, she's being very defensive towards people when she first meet them, because she have had this experience of being rejected all the time. So in real life, if you meet people who are, you know, whose guards are a little bit up, who are a little bit defensive, who come across as not the most positive, I know that our tendency, you know, our first knee-jerk reaction, it is mine as well, is to run away from people like that. And you know, if they're extremely negative, maybe you do want to, you know, stay away. But if they just have, you know, their guards a little bit up, if they are just a little defensive, maybe you can try and see, because a lot of the time there is, you know, a very soft heart, you know, inside all of those walls, as we've seen with Elphaba, who was willing to forego her heart desire for the animal's ability to speak and teach and live freely. And the last takeaway that I have from the movie is actually not mine, I'm going to borrow it, is from my daughter, and it is that people and things are not always as they seem. That's what she told me when the movie ended and we realized that, you know, the wizard didn't actually have any power. She said, "See, mommy, things are not always as they seem." And I thought that was really cute and really smart from her, and I really want to leave you guys with that. You know, especially in today with the era of social media, we're watching people and, you know, sometimes comparing ourselves to them when we don't know the actual reality, when people share only their highlight reels, you know. So please, 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 in real life, try to I know it's very hard, but try to offset the impulse that we all have to compare ourselves to other people, to think that they are doing better than us, to think that you are behind in life, to think that, you know, they are better than you will ever be, etc., etc., right? If you tap into your own power again, you may realize that, you know, you are just as powerful, if not even more, even though it's not a competition, than they are, because we see in the movie that, you know, Elphaba end up being way more powerful than the wizard ever will. So I think that those are the five or six takeaways that I had from watching Wicked. Like I said, all in all, I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the scenery. I think it was produced beautifully, and of course I wish Cynthia nothing but the best in her future endeavors. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye. Mwah. Let me know what you thought about the movie if you've seen it.